Well, I'd say happy Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving's just about over. And I've got 4 days off from work as a result. And I spent Thanksgiving alone this year. So here it is, Thanksgiving night. What am I going to do? A beer review for you. And I'm going to be reviewing this year, like I have, I think, just about every year for quite a while. Sierra Nevada's Celebration Ale. And I've got a 6-pack of it here. It's been in my fridge for a while. And I'm ready for a beer review, tell you what I think of this. Every year, it's a little bit different, they say. I've been drinking this beer. It's only available around, from October through December, they make it. That's it. So it's a seasonal beer, Christmas beer, I guess you could call it. And it's been my go-to Christmas beer for quite a few years. And they just came out with it this year, so I'm going to check it out. I'll tell you what I think of it. And a little bit from the brewery. Well, first off, I want to tell you this beer is 6.8% alcohol. Here's from their website. And the thing with this beer, it's an IPA. I say Celebration Ale, but Celebration IPA. They're big on the hops, and here's a little ditty about their hops as well.
That will drive from Seattle and then head all around the valley through Yakima, checking out the hops. And we try to pick our Centennial lots when we're up there. When we're done with that, we hop in the car and we drive all the way down to Oregon, and we're looking for our Cascades at that time. I think it's 800 miles that we travel, so we're in the car with each other for a long time. When we finally take that van and drop it back off, it's got the lupulin crust on the steering wheel, and the whole entire car just like reeks of hops. You could cut that out. You don't need to talk about that. But when we're looking for Centennial, we're looking for a kind of a bright intensity. There's some citrus there, along with a little bit of kind of floral note. When we're looking for Cascades, on the other hand, we're looking for bright citrus, some pine there. So when the two combine together, it's just a great combination of pine, citrus, and rose.
All right, yeah, that's from their website. So they handpicked the hops, and it's been a very good IPA in the years past. I'll tell you what I think. Now, I will tell you that I came down with, unfortunately, COVID a little over 2 months ago. And it's still affecting my sinuses. And
Celebration IPA.
I didn't lose my sense of taste or smell with it. But I've been
freshly picked hops, rushed from farm to brewery, filled Celebration IPA with powerful citrus and pine flavors.
I'm ready for a brew.
When you're on the slopes with friends or
And
building
they've
a
been making this beer
campfire
since
for the
1981.
fam, you need a beer as fresh as fallen snow.
One of their first beers. The
Pure
brewery
hops
opened up
balanced with
in
rich
79.
caramel malt make this
They,
a celebration in
employ a
every
little
sip.
over 1,000
Only available October
people, so
through December.
it's a pretty big
Style
operation.
IPA,
I
alcohol
mean, this
by
is a
volume
California beer, and
6.8,
I'm in New
IBU
York.
65.
And Sierra Nevada, quite frankly, they're one of those brewers, American brewers, that if their name's on it, it's going to be a good beer. They do not put out bad beers that I'm aware of. I haven't had one yet. In fact, I had a little bit of their Narwhal Imperial Stout last night. and treated myself to it because it was my first night off for a bit, and it was pretty good. So here's their Celebration Ale, and it's in the same package it's been in since I can remember. The red can with the, the little snowy Christmas scene. So, all right. I'll tell you what I think. I'll tell you what I think of it. Oh, let me get rid of this doily and bring out the candle. So we can have a look at the color of it, which I suspect is going to be orange. But they use a lot of caramel malt in this.
Yeah.
That affects my sense of smell. I smell hops, kind of pine, citrus hops. And that's not surprising. It's got a good smell to it. Okay, now we'll do the pour. Got a good head on it. That's always good. I'm going to top it off. I've worked hard for this beer. All right. Can see the head on it, but I'll do better than that. Cut. Top this baby off. That is what the head looks like from where I'm sitting. Looks good. All right. Put this thing away. I don't need that. I'll tell you what, I'm ready to do a beer review. After the creepy videos I put out, I really didn't want to put some of those videos out on the darker stuff, but for some reason I felt compelled to do it. But it was really kind of an ambivalent because I don't like talking about that stuff. And again, I'm talking of my own experiences, not somebody else's stories, which makes it real. It was real to me. So I'm ready to do a beer review, and that's a nice color. A good orange color on this, huh? Yeah. All right. So smells good. I smell hops. A good citrusy kind of piney kind of like pine cone needles, pine cones, and citrus. Oh, and a taste of hops. Very upfront hops. Oh, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good, folks. It's got, you get hit with hops the minute you put this to your mouth. You get the hops. And I'm still tasting the hops, in the back of my throat, the middle of my mouth, which really is refreshing to me right now. Haven't had this congestion with this, it just doesn't go away. I know the woman that gave it to me, I know who gave it to me. It's somebody I work with, and she even said, I gave you COVID. I'm like, gee, thanks a lot, Well, she gave it to her father and her son as well, she told me, and I spoke with her a few days ago. And they got the same as what I got going on. Like sinus issues that go away and come back. It just keeps coming back. Ugh. Oh yeah. It's good. Medium, what am I gonna, all right, the aroma, piney, citrus. If you can imagine that, like if you had pine needles and crunched them up in your hand and smelled them, and then a little squeeze of orange spritz, and you've got the, it's kind of a balance on the hops. The taste, a little bit like grapefruit, which I don't like tasting too much like grapefruit. But there is a little bit of a grapefruit tartness to it, but not a lot. And it's really got like kind of a pine, like I was saying, citrus, tartness, sour, bitter. It's an IPA, so it's supposed to be. And this beer is all about the hops. You go to their website, and they've got a pretty nice website, and the brewery looks pretty nice too. They've been in business for over 40 years, which that's a while, really, for a brewery, unless it's one of the really old established ones. For a brewery that's brewing this kind of beer, they were kind of ahead of their time in America. I mean, this is a British style IPA, India Pale Ale, which was brewed to be strong and a lot of hops when the British had their soldiers in India. We're talking like 1840s, 50s. And the soldiers liked their beer. They had a hard life. I just watched a show on the life of British soldiers in India, redcoats, and they had a hard life. And they had their little bit of time off. They drank, and they liked their beer. The problem was the days of sailing a ship from Britain full of big barrels of beer for the troops in India took a while. And as a result, it would arrive sometimes spoiled, the beer. So they came up with this idea to put a little more alcohol in it. This is 6.8% alcohol. And they put a lot more hops than they usually put in ales. And between the higher alcohol and the hops, it was a inhibited bacteria. Antibacterial properties, I'm trying to say. So the beer would survive the voyage. And the style was born, India Pale Ale. And I think, and it's a British style, as I just said, I think Burton-on-Trent brewed one of the first India Pale Ale for the troops, I believe. If that means anything to you. I'm not even sure where that's at in England. Here it is, right here is the map. Righto, mate. Laddie, Sonny Jim. So, the style of an India Pale Ale, I think this is one of the first ones that I know of commercially brewed in America. So they were ahead of their time. That's what I'm trying to give them some kudos there. Sierra Nevada Brewery. They brew this beer that's been a personal favorite of mine as long as I can remember, honestly, if I can find it. Being an East Coaster like I am, West Coast beer, it's not hard to find now in New York State. I wish it were more available in more places, but it's pretty well distributed. So it's got a medium body to it. The head's held up pretty good for this mug. Good lacing. As you can see, the lacing is quite evident. I have no complaints with this beer. It's my probably top 3 India Pale Ales that I can think of. Top 3, maybe top 2. I don't know. There are others that are pretty good, but lately I've been looking for the stouts and the Imperial Stouts. And there are some good ones out there, but I've already reviewed them. And Stone Brewery's coming out with a new one that I can't wait to find. And one of my favorite black rye IPAs, Wookie Jack, which by Firestone Brewery, Wookie Jack black IPA. I read that they're going to bring that beer back, and if they do, I may revisit it on here for you. Because that, as I recall, was an outstanding beer. Wookie Jack. But we're talking about Sierra Nevada's Celebration Finest Hop IPA. Get this out of here for now. What can I say about this beer? It's good. If you like IPAs, you're going to want to get your hands on this. For Christmas Eve or whatever occasion. Oh my God, it is good. Well, I have my little Thanksgiving dinner all by myself. I bought a whole chicken and cut it up because I wanted the breast and on the bone, and I couldn't find any. Actually, I did. It was outrageously priced for 2 chicken breasts. I buy the whole chicken for half what they wanted for them, and so I cut the whole chicken up: legs, wings, breast, the back. It's not that difficult at all. And if you want to make your own broth, chicken broth, that's what the chicken back is used for, backbone. Jen used to do that. She used to make her own chicken broth that way, but I never did. I'll just buy it. And I had baked potatoes, brine baked with salt. You soak the potato in salt water for about 3 hours. Poke a few holes, not many, with a fork. Soak it. Bake it in the oven till the interior temperature is 205 degrees Fahrenheit. And you've got the perfect baked potato. So I had that with some peppers and onions and the usual things like sour cream and such, butter, salt, pepper, black pepper. And this beer right now. Been working on my stone carvings. It's a learning experience. My first project's a small cross. I did some work on it today. I'll do some work tomorrow. Trying to get into stone sculpting. I mean, I carved this guy out of wood. And cherry wood, locally. And I want to try to do the same with stone, limestone, locally. Because there's limestone all over this place where I live in central New York. Abundant in oak, cherry, walnut, hickory, apple wood. It's abundant here. And limestone is also abundant. Central New York's a beautiful place. If you can get over the big city politics and taxes that we have to live with, it's beautiful here. And if you can survive the winters, it can be. They will definitely temper your soul, just like every other thing in nature that lives here. People are no different. And the long winters here can really, really make you appreciate the spring and the summer. And the falls here are gorgeous with the colors. And I've lived around this country, and I swear it's very beautiful here. I mean, I go to France. I'm looking to go back to France, to Brittany, to that town I like so much, Dinan, Dinan. Beautiful town. Google it. Kind of remote, a little hard to get to, but it's worth it. Worth the effort getting there. But I will say the nature here is at least, if not more beautiful than France. I'm not talking about the coast. No, that's a different story, but inland. It reminds me a lot of rural upstate New York. But I think, honestly, I think right here where I'm at in New York State I think it's more beautiful than what I saw in France. The land. I mean, the Finger Lakes. It's gorgeous here. And what's that got to do with this beer? I don't know. Get a little bit of Tim Blab. You know, this pint. Oh my God, that is good beer, folks. A little bit sweet. Just enough malty sweetness. I would say balanced with the hops, but actually the hops take over. So I'm tasting the hops, but it's not so much. It's not a sharp biting hops. It's a pretty mellow, easy to drink, but yet strong hops presence in this beer. And the smell too is hops, and there's a hint of malty sweetness. So it's hops up front, with a hint of malty sweetness with it. It's good. It's very good. And you can see the body on this, the lacing is good. Still got a little bit of a head left on it. Great color. Great body, lacing, great aroma, and great flavor. And very easily drinkable. Oh man, I am not disappointed this year with Celebration IPA, not at all. I guess I'll wrap this up. Yeah, I guess I would say this is definitely. Oh, I forgot to mention. I paid for this 6-pack. I paid about $12 for the 6-pack. You know, all told, it was 11 something, maybe $12.5 all told for the 6-pack. So, at the grocery store. Well, here's to swimming with bow-legged women. An outstanding beer. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.